you're learning, all right, so it means that while you're learning, okay, while you're learning, um, you're gaining work experience, all right? So you'd have facilitators from, from the best of the best organizations across the globe. Talk of Coca-Cola, McKinsey, Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Microsoft, and the list goes on. So this is what we do, and this is how we help, the Black folks get into the tech space. And we have fantastic, founders behind, who are the brain behind this platform. So we have Adeza Suleiman. Adeza Suleiman is the founder of Analytics, and he's a data analytics expert with close to a decade of experience in the industry. All right. So he was the first to conceive this, the idea of, okay, I found it very difficult to get into the tech space. So why not make it easy for people like me to get into the tech space, right? So let people like me have it easier since I've been able to spot, the stumbling blocks and, those obstacles that makes it very difficult for people to, switch careers into tech, right? So, like I said, he has close to a decade of experience cutting across several sectors, from the power sector, oil and gas, to the energy sector. He's also worked with the in the automobile sector as well. All right. And he's done management consulting. So you get this slide and you'll be able to connect with Adeza. All right. Connect with him on LinkedIn, on Instagram, as well as Twitter. And he's been, able to mentor close on 9,000 participants till date. All right. And we also have the co-founder of Analytics, Efemena April. All right. And he, alongside with, Adeza, fantastic professionals. Femina April himself has also close to a decade of experience in the industry. One fantastic thing about Femina is that he's been able to wear all the hats you can find in the data space. Okay, he's worked as a data analyst, he's worked as a data scientist, he's worked as a data engineer, he's worked as a Power Platform developer, he's worked as a BI developer, and the list goes on and on. So he's coming on board with this wealth of experience, all right, and he's going to share it with people like you who are looking to get into the space, and you then find your own tracks easier than he actually did. So he's worked with DPD in DPD Ireland. He's worked as a business intelligence developer, as a global business systems analyst. He's worked as a data scientist. Like I mentioned earlier. All right, and like I said, he also has close to a decade of experience in the industry. All right, but for today specifically, all right, you have two fantastic facilitators. All right, so you have on board myself, okay, Mohammed Suleiman. I'm a senior data associate here at Analytics, also the data analytics lead. All right, so I have over 5 years of experience in the industry, and my job here at Analytics, like I said, is to make it easy for people like you to get into the tech. All right, so I've worked as a data analyst as well as a data scientist, cutting across three different sectors. I've also had the opportunity to work notably with Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is one of Italy's largest luxury car brands. Right? They used to be a sister organization with Ferrari up until about 2016, when Ferrari became a standalone luxury brand itself. All right. So, and you also have on board the chief operating officer here at Analytics, in the person of Chukwemeka. All right. So Chukwemeka, he has a wealth of experience as well in the industry. He's worked as a data analyst in the banking sector. He has a very strong experience in the financial space. He's done risk management, and he's been able to use his data analytics skills on on this in this sector as well, giving value to the clients he's been able to work with. And he's currently the COO here at Analytics, all right, and he's also sharing his wealth of experience with people like you, making it easier for you to get into this space. All right. So are we excited to be here? We are close to 60 on the call currently. So far, are you excited to be here? We are about to get into why we are here. All right. So this is just an introduction of we are Analytics, are your facilitators for today. Are we ready to go? Okay. Becca, Odira, thank you very much for that. So I'll see your responses in the chat. I'll see your responses in the chat before we put our foot to the metal. Start today's session. Okay. I'll see your responses. I'll see your responses in the chat. Are we excited today? Glad to be here. Excited. Fantastic. Right, great. So let's keep our responses coming in. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to the main aim is to learn something very valuable today, right? Which we are going to do. So now I'll tell you about what we would be doing today. All right. So I'll tell you about what we are going to be doing today. Okay, so what we'll be doing today is going to cut across four facets. All right, so we'll cover four different aspects. The very first thing we'll do is to use Power BI to track real-time, delivery, to track real-time deliveries for a third party, logistics firm. Right, that's the first thing we'll do, and I'll be taking you through that aspect. All right. Thereafter, Chukwemeka will come on board and tell you exactly how you can also get started as a data analyst. So you want to become a data analyst, but you've never known how. Okay. I'll show you a snippet of what it's like to be a data analyst and what are the importance, what your job is as a data analyst, right? That's the first thing we'll do. Then Chukwemeka will walk us through how you can get started, okay, as a data analyst. And then we have a fantastic session coming up, a data analytics program coming up, starting on the 6th of April next month, okay, which Chukwemeka will also be talking about. And also would show you, people who have been able to, get jobs after passing through our program, right? So the pastoral program, the data analytics program, and they got a job as a data analyst, right? After passing through. So people who have done this, we would, show a little, just, a number of them, all right? Because we have tons and tons of them, close on 10,000 of them. But we have some of them, who we'll be showing to you today. And most importantly, which is one of the reasons you should stay with me till the end of today's session, all right? We have a fantastic discount currently running to commemorate the International Women's Day, all right? And it's a whooping 50% discount, okay? So I'll leave it at that for now. So Chukwemeka will go into more details about these discounts in today's session. So I want you to stick around till the very end of today's session, and you get to hear about what this discount entails. All right, so we are getting into it now. Let's get started. Okay. So what you need to do, let's keep in mind, my colleagues are also posting a link, the attendance link in the chat as we speak. So to get access to the recording of this session and also the materials we'll be using, this particular slide that I'm currently presenting. To get access to it, you need to fill in the attendance form in the charts. Okay, so the link is posted in the chat. Fill it in so you gain access. All right. So also ensure to stay till the end so you learn one or two things, and then we see what we can do together. All right. So now I've also kept the link to the data set in here, in chat. I mean, in the slide rather. I will put it in the chat, very shortly. Okay, so you can download the data set. Okay, in your free time. Get hold of the recording, and then you can replicate whatever I'm going to be doing today. All right, you replicate whatever I'm going to be doing today. Okay. So somebody's asking a question. Hello, sir. Just a question, please. Do the 50% apply only to women or everyone? So we'll give you more details about that. Okay, we'll give you more details of that. All right. So just stick around. It's a very fantastic one. And let me give you a spoiler alert about this. Both men and women are going to be beneficiaries of this discount, but the details will be communicated, when we get to that particular aspect. Okay, so but what we're going to now is actually helping, okay, actually helping this third-party logistics firm to solve the problem. The attendance link is not opening. I'm sure my team members will be on this. Okay, so somebody would notify you once it's opening. So you can try once more. Click on the attendance link. Click on the attendance form, um, so that you can fill it in. All right. So you can circle back, let us know whether it's open again. But if not, don't worry. My team member will definitely be on it, and you'll be notified once it is up. All right. But while we are doing this, okay, so I would click on this link, okay, to show you what the data set looks like. Uh, so once you click on the link, you'd see this. I believe you can all see my screen. So this is a snippet of the data set. Um, this is a snippet of the data set. Okay, you see the download button. So I'll just click on the download button, and that downloads a copy for me in my downloads a copy for me, and I can work with this from my PC directly. All right. So just to show you how to download that. Okay. So and one more thing, if you don't have Power BI, installed in your system, very easy. All right. You can do that easily. Okay. You can come to your taskbar and type store. Okay, to open Microsoft Store if you're using a Windows. All right, if you're using a Windows, you can download it directly from Microsoft Store. Click on Microsoft Store, that opens up Microsoft Store. And I'll send the link to the data set shortly. All right, so I'll do that. And I can see some questions in the chat. Take note of your questions. When we get to the end of today's session, we'll answer one or two questions, and then we would call it a day. So just type in Power BI desktop. Okay, you can see Power BI desktop. So you click on that, and then you'll be able to download, right? Just give it a moment. Power BI desktop, and you should be able to, you have a button here at the bottom part here to download. So this is one way of downloading Microsoft Power BI to your local drive. So just a moment. All right, so you could just click on get, and that downloads it. You can see a snippet of what you can do with Power BI. All right, so you can create mobile views, you can clean data, you can create data models, you can create very attractive reports, and so on and so on. All right, so this is one way. Another way of downloading Microsoft Power BI, which I'll be showing you now, is you go to your browser, go to a new tab in your browser, and type Power BI download. Power BI download. Okay, search Power BI download. All right. So you can see, you can click on this link to install directly from Windows, or you can click on downloads Microsoft Power BI, as you can see here on my screen. Now, once you click on that link, okay, once you click on that link, it takes you to this page where all you need to do is to scroll down a bit. And on the left-hand side, you'd notice Microsoft Power BI desktop. Microsoft Power BI desktop. And all you need to do is to click on Advanced Download Options. Advanced Download Options. So I'll click on that. All right. You click on Advanced Download Options, and that takes you to this page where it says, oh, what language do you speak? So if you speak, let's say, for example, you speak Swahili, you can pick Swahili, but I'll just leave it as English since I speak English. Okay, so I want to assume we all speak English, right? So you click on download, and then it asks you to download, to select one of these two. All right, so if you know your system specification, if it's a 64 bit system, if that's what you're using, you can just check the box here and click on download. If you're not sure what your system spec is, you download the first one. Just check the box for the first one and click download. All right. And the installation process is seamless. Double click on the download, and then all you need to do is to click next, 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 and you would have it installed in your um, system. Okay. So for those of us who are asking for the link to the data set, I'll put it in the charts right about now. Okay, and then um, you can also download a copy of the data set, just in case you want to follow me. All right, but what I would want you to do really today's session is let's concentrate on solving an actual problem, right? Using Power BI, helping this extract insight from their data. Okay, it's a delivery data. We're going to be crunching it and extracting as much insight as we can within the next 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, and then we go into the next bit that we have for today's session. All right. So once you download you click on this. I had clicked on this icon to download. All right. So if I go to my downloads now, if I go to my downloads, you would notice you have logistics real-time delivery data. Logistics real-time delivery data. Okay, so I've downloaded it multiple times, so that's why I have two in bracket here. And you can see the type is a Microsoft Excel command separated value file. And for short, we call it a CSV file. CSV file. So it's a CSV file, right? Just like I've typed it in the chat. It's a CSV file. So you take note of that. Okay. Please can you send the attendance link to? So my team members would send the attendance link in the chat. So just be on the lookout to drop right about now, and you can fill it in like we discussed. Okay, so that's it in the chat, Teresa. So and everyone who is just joining us, please fill in the attendance form so that you gain access to all the materials we are using for today, the data sets, the slides that I'm using, as well as every other thing that comes with this session, the recordings and all. Okay, so I'll open up Power BI desktop. Okay, so when you open up Power BI desktop, all right, I believe we can still see my screen. Let's confirm we can still see my screen before we put our foot to the metal, right? Just confirm you can see my screen. Just type a yes or a one in the chat. All right. Okay, fantastic one. Okay, great. Okay, so the attendance link is not working. All right, so the attendance link is not working. Okay, so my team will work on that shortly, like I mentioned earlier, and get that across to you. All right. Now, but in the meantime, let's concentrate on my screen. Let's work together. See what we can do within the next 30 to 40 minutes, like I mentioned. All right. So now, when you open up, or when you start Power BI, especially for those of us who have not used Power BI before, all right, the first thing you'd notice is you'd see, I remember, and each time I open up Power BI, guys, each time I open up Power BI, I remember the very first time I did open Power BI. Okay, till today, I remember the very first time I opened Power BI. I had no clue what to click on. Okay, I had no clue what to click on. I had to figure things out myself. You, and today when I remember that day, it's always a reason for me to laugh. So I also transitioned. Yeah, I always forget to say that, or to tell people that I also transitioned into the tech space. All right. So I have my own background in engineering, mechanical engineering to be precise, and I made the switch to becoming a data analyst and a data scientist along the line as well. So when you open up Power BI, you see this canvas. So this is a canvas, all right, where, look at it as where artists, just like the blank page where artists do their painting. So this is that canvas where you would work, okay? But if you direct your gaze to the top left corner, the very top left corner of your Power BI screen, notice that you have what we call get data. Get data. get data? Can we all see get data? And I want us to tell me in the chat, especially for those of us who have not used Power BI before. What do you think get data do for us? What do you think this button, if I click on get data, I'm not saying what would you see? What do you think we can do with this button get data? Or what do you think it means? Let's start from there. Type it in the chat, especially for those of us who have not used Power BI before. And for those of us who have used it before, no issues. Um, you'd by the time we get into what we have for today, you'd be getting some insight. So you can type it in the chat for now, okay, so that we have a more seamless interaction. So it's going to be interactive. We're going to be using the chat. Okay, I think somebody's saying get the data being downloaded. Fantastic. I think it's to import data from another source. Absolutely correct. Somebody says, Mark says to get the data set you want to import. Fantastic. Joke says it's to access the data you will work with. Absolutely. To migrate data from your data source into Power BI, to import data, it will import our saved data. Somebody says ETL. That's definitely an experienced, Power BI user. All right. So we'll work together. All right. So import, select data source, import data. Absolutely correct. You all are absolutely correct. All right. So now, once you click on get data, I'll click on get data now. All right. Power BI opens up a window where you have a bunch of data sources. Okay. You can see, numerous data sources that you can extract your data from. All right. But we took note of the type of data that we downloaded, and we said it was a CSV file. Do you all recall that we said that, oh, it's a CSV file, correct? It's a CSV file. So because it's a CSV file, we tell Power BI, I want to bring in a CSV file, that to work with, just like you guys mentioned. Mary Jane is saying, please, what's going on? So you probably just joined us. So what we are doing here is we are, going to track a real-time logistics data, okay? Specifically data around deliveries. So want to track, real-time deliveries using Power BI. That's what we're working. All right. So you joined. I think you joined a bit late, but that's not a problem. I still want you to stay. Let's work together. All right. Generate the insights together. You see what I'm doing. When you get a recording of today's session and the materials, you'll be able to replicate it. All you need to do is to fill in the attendance form chart, and you get access to that. All right. So, like I said, what we downloaded was a CSV file. Because it was a CSV file, double I'll click on CSV, okay, text slash CSV. All right, click on text slash CSV, okay, and then you click on connect. You click on connect. You click on connect right at the bottom right. Now, once you click on connect, you notice that, okay, so I'll just, on the right-hand side, I'll just click on downloads, right? I'll click on downloads because when I downloaded the file, okay, it went to my downloads. Okay, and this is the Excel file here, okay, which I mentioned. It's, if you can see, if I hover my mouse on it, you can see it says type. Can we all see my screen? If you can read what I have on my screen, you see it says type Microsoft Excel, comma, separated value file. And that is what a CSV file is. Comma separated value stands for CSV. That's what CSV means. All right, if you've never heard of CSV before. So that's a CSV file, which is why we chose, or why we have specified to Power BI that, look, we want to connect to a CSV file. So then you click on this file, which is logistics real-time delivery data. Okay, you click on that and you click on open at the bottom here. You'd click on open. Now, once you do that, you allow Power BI, you just take a step back and you'd allow Power BI do its thing. You'd allow Power BI do its stuff. And you'd see a snippet of the data. You can see package, you have package ID, the origin, the destination, dispatch dates, estimated delivery dates, status, whether it's been delivered, it's in transit, but it's gone out for delivery, and so on and so forth. The current location of the package, and then the delivery time, okay, in days. The delivery time in days, meaning the number of days between the dispatch date and the estimated days. All right. Now, what I need to do is, if you look at the bottom of my screen here, you see load, you see transform data, you see cancel. Now, in Power BI, when you bring in data, all right, the first thing you want to do before you load is to transform the data. Transform data. Okay, transform data. And it's like taking, the data set um, into a preparatory room, in case if there is any issue with the data set, you can then, clean it up in there, and um, you can clean it there, and then before you get to work with it, all right? Before you get to work with it, you can clean it in there, right? So you want to click on transform data, not to load. We'll load later, okay? But we want to check and confirm that our data is in the correct format for analysis. If we check and all is good, fine, we can then load. So, but for now, I'll click on transform data. Okay, transform data, transform data. Now, once you click on transform data, the very interesting part of Power BI opens up. And this is called the Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. The Power Query Editor is one of the components of Power BI. Okay, and look at it as the preparatory room. So that room where you prepare backstage. Every stage has a backstage. So that backstage is your Power Query Editor. Okay, so Power BI Desktop itself, which I showed you earlier, that is the stage itself. So this is backstage where you do the mix and match where nobody sees, and then you can make your presentations on stage. Now, if you look at the data set, you notice that you have you have your package ID, you have your origin, you have your destination, you have the dispatch dates. So it's a very recent data. I think it's data from last week. Okay, so I've codified the name of the organization, codified some other things to ensure that you are not able to trace this data back to its original source. Okay, so and this is how you get to learn when you join us at Analytics. So we bring on board our experience, and you get to learn from that. Okay, so this is the dispatch date, the estimated date of delivery, and the status of the package. Has it been delivered? Is it in transit? Is it out for delivery? And let me quickly explain what this means. So I know we all understand when we see, when a package is delivered. That's pretty clear. If a package is delivered, it means the customer has received the package, right? In transit, means that the package is on its way to the post office. All right, so the pickup point, however I want to call it, the post office or the pickup point. So the package left the either the vendor or the manufacturer and is on its way to the post office. So when a customer makes an order, the package moves from the vendor and goes to the post office. So that movement is called the in transit, right? Now, out of delivery means that, out of delivery means that um, the package has left the post office now and is on its way to the customer, right? It has left the post office and it's on its way to the customer. Okay, so that's out of delivery. And delayed, these are packages that obviously was delayed. All right. So now what you want to do is this. If you go to the next column, you see current location, which is where the package currently is, and then you see delivery time, and this is the difference between the dispatch date and estimated delivery dates, so this is an estimated delivery time, all right? So in days, okay, you can see 4 days, 1 day, 3 days, and so on and so forth, all right? Now the data itself looks good, okay? You can see it's saying 100% valid. But one thing I want to do here is this, or one thing I want to mention is this. You notice that in each column, for example, you have 1, 2, 3 for package ID. You can see on the left-hand side, you have 1, 2, 3. For origin, you have ABC. Destination, you have ABC. Dispatch date, you have something that looks like a calendar. Okay. So all these things are called data types. Data types. So whenever you extract data from its source to Power BI, all right, Power BI automatically detects the kind of data or the data type, all right, by looking through the first few columns. Sorry, the first few rows in each column, all right, and attaches a data type to that column. So this is the package ID column. So Power BI takes a look at what kind of data do I have in there. Oh, I have numbers, and then it puts 1, 2, 3. All right, it comes to origin and looks at origin and says, oh, I have text in there, so I put ABC. It does the same for destination. It looks at dispatch date. It sees that it has dates in there and puts a date data type in there. All right, and it does that, throughout. Okay, so now you want to ensure that the data types that you have, um, yes, Stella, you get the class recording. All right, so just do well to fill in the attendance form, and you get the recording to the for this session. Right, so it's recorded. Now, like I was saying, if you look at package ID, yes, package ID has numbers underneath. Okay. Package ID. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. One second. All right. So, like I said, like I was saying, okay, the package ID is, contains numbers. Fantastic. Okay. Don't worry, to be rectified and you'll be notified. All right. The attendance form will be rectified and, you will definitely be notified. Okay. Now, the package ID, contains numbers, but we are not going to be using these numbers for any calculation. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Let me see who are the people that are following me. All right. Who are the people following? Your package ID would not be used for um would not be used for any calculation, right? You're not going to be adding them up. You're not going to be dividing them. Okay? Just like me having a list of, let's say, for example, from Chukwemeka's experience, he's worked with the banking industry, right? So you have a bunch of customers, and then you have their account numbers as their unique identifier. So even if they have the same name, you have their account numbers which you can use to identify each customer, right? So yes, the account numbers contain numbers. So if I bring the account numbers into Power BI, Power BI will tell me this is a you know um, numerical data type, right? But because I can't use, or I will not be using I will not be using my account numbers for any calculation like average, sum of account numbers. You're not going to be adding up account numbers together. Okay, Mohammed, what's your account number? My account number. All right. And I say, okay, Chukwemeka, what's your account number? And then I say, um, sum up the account numbers. And you say, okay, um, Mohammed's account number plus Chukwemeka's account number, would give me 0, 0. It makes absolutely sense. So because of this reason, which also mimics what I have here as package ID, I'll be changing my package ID type to text, which is ABC. So I'll click on 1, 2, 3, and click on text, which is ABC, as you can see on my screen. I'll click on text, and Power BI asks me, oh, yes, you can count it. Boomer, you can count it. Okay, you can count texts. You can count each text. Okay, I can count the account number, but you're not going to. You don't need them to exit that. All right. So Power BI is telling me here in a nutshell, oh, I had already detected the data type for this and determined that they are numbers. Do you want to change it to text? Do you want me to replace my own decision? And it's telling me replace current. So I'll just click on replace current. Power BI then replaces its own decision with mine, having package ID as text. Now, once you come back to Power Query to do some things as required by our analysis. All right. So you'd see once you've done this, everything is okay. And then what you can do is, or what you want to do next is, you want to click on this icon that's apply on the top left corner. Close and apply. All right. Close and apply. So you can click on the drop down and click on close and apply, or you click directly on the icon itself to close and apply. Now, what close and apply does for you is that it takes it from the backstage to the front of the stage, and you can then do your final analysis in there. Okay, so I'll click on close and apply. I'll click on close and apply the drop down, and then I select close and apply. So I click on close and apply, and then I just take a step back, allow Power BI to do its stuff. And what happens is that Power BI then loads the data into it brings in the data, the cleaned, that's the transformed data now. It brings it in here, and then I can work directly with this. Okay, I can work directly with this. All right. So I think some persons have been able. So please indicate if you have been able to fill in the form. Information reaching me says that your network might be the issue. All right. So you may want to check your network and ensure you try again to fill in the form. So the form is working, the form is hale and hearty. You want to check your network and ensure you're able to fill in form. Okay, I filled mine. Fantastic, great. I filled the form. Great. Fantastic. Now let's ride on. Now you notice on the right-hand side of my screen, you now have logistics real-time data. Okay, logistic real-time delivery data. All right. So you've imported the data in here. This is the transformed data. And you will notice an arrow on the left-hand side of it. So I'll click this arrow and it shows me all the columns in my data sets. All right, all the columns in my data set: current location, delivery time, destination, dispatch date, estimated delivery dates, origin, package ID, status. All right. All right. Um, okay, great. So now we can then use this to build, to build visuals or charts, if you want to call them charts. We can build some charts and visuals that make that make that makes that makes that allows us to extract insights from it. All right. So Olaide Olabode is saying you didn't carry out any data cleaning. That means the data is already. So stay with me, don't worry. We'll still go back to Power Query today, all right, and do something fun. So you just stay with me and see what you can, what you can pick out, right? So you'd also get to work in organizations that already have databases, have data engineers working with them, and they would be in charge of cleaning the data, and you as a data analyst, you'd focus more on your job, which is you extracting insights from data, right? So okay, great. So just stay with me, yeah, Olabode. All right. Now, what you want to do, or, all right, what we want to do first is this. We said we have, we have delivery. What we have is delivery data. Okay. We have delivery data. And you saw that the delivery data was segmented into, status, whether it's in transit or, the data was, is, I mean, the delivered or it's delayed or it is out for delivery. I explained all that earlier, right? So we want to see of all the packages, all right, what's the breakdown into these different status? And then we also want to see what's the average delivery time in days, what's the fastest delivery that we have in this data, and what's the slowest delivery time, across this data. So let's do that together. All right, let's do that together. Now, um, to see a breakdown of the packages, whether into the different categories, whether it's been delivered or it's still in transit or it's been out for delivery or it's delayed. This is what we'll do. We'll use you come to your visualization pane, and that's where you have different charts and visuals you can select from. Okay. Um, in order to see a breakdown of my data, of my packages in all the different, status. Okay, would select a column chart, a clustered column chart. Would select the clustered column chart. This particular icon where I kept my mouse, where you can see my mouse. I'll click on that. Okay, I'll click on that, and Power BI pops up, an empty clustered column chart, and I will then put in the values I want to see, and Power BI will break it down for me. Now, by default, when you select a chart, Power BI pops open the filter pane. So I do not need the filter pane. So I'll click on this arrow to collapse the filter pane. You see me hovering my mouse on this particular arrow, this double arrow, and you can see what Power BI says, collapse or expand the filter pane while editing. So I don't want to see it, I'll collapse it. Click on that to collapse it. Gives me more space, to build my visual. And then I can then use, the corners of this visual to adjust. So I bring my cursor here and drag. That's from the corner to adjust the visual, make it a bit bigger. Okay. And then when you focus on the visualizations pane again, you see that currently selected is build visual. So if you look at the bottom, you have x-axis, you have y-axis, you have legend, small multiples, so many entities that you can where you can put in your data to see it all. All right. So we want to see a column, okay, one for each delivery status. Okay, one for each delivery status. So in other words, we want to see the different delivery statuses on this horizontal axis, and that's the x-axis. Because of that, I would put in my status. You can see status here from the data pane. I would click, hold, and drag. I would hold and drag, and then drop it in x-axis. I'll do that one more time. I'll take it out and do it one more time. You'd hold, drag it, and drop it in x-axis. Okay? And you might not be able to see anything just yet. All right? And that's because you've not said what you want to. You've not specified what you want to see. Okay? On the y-axis. Now, on the y-axis, I want to see the number of packages in each of these status. So I'll drag package ID, and drop it in y-axis. You drag package ID and drop it in y-axis. Okay, and automatically, Power BI counts the number of package IDs in each of the delivery status, and you can see how it has broken it down. Okay, so I want you to type in the chart. I'll put it in focus mode so you can see it more clearly. Okay, so you can see it more clearly. So, and while I'm presenting that, I want you to tell me in your own words what you can see. What's the insight you can see? What does this chart tell status? So this is focus mode. So I'll put it on focus mode. All right. So in one sentence, I want you to type in the chat, what does this chart tell you about all of our packages, all the delivery statuses of each of these for you? Type it in the chat. Simple sentence, your own words, right? Type what you can see. A lot are in transit and delayed. I want you to look at it very well. Okay. You can see what you have here is in transit, followed by delivered, followed by delayed, and then out for delivery. All right. You have in transit first, followed by delivered, then delayed and out for delivery. Some people saying most of the packages are in transit. Fantastic. More packages is on transit. Fantastic. So um, most of the packages are in transit. Okay, you can give me, you can, yeah, I know I said simple terms, but I want to see more details. There is less package out for delivery. Fantastic. So I like the angle you came from, Odira. Okay, because you notice that have some packages after passing through transit must have that have arrived at the post office. Only few of them have gone out for delivery. All right. So okay, only few have gone out for delivery. Somebody say few packages undelivered. If you notice, every other column that you have here, okay, any other column that you have here is not delivered. So this is delivered. This is the only one that you can find here, about 400 packages have been delivered. Every others have not been delivered. Okay. Somebody saying, okay, there's a problem with delivery. Absolutely. All right, which is why we are looking into this. So, but you have tons of about 407. If you can see the two pits, okay, 407 have not are in transit. Okay, delayed, and 89 has been out for delivery. So if we can get these to our post office much faster, we can then switch this into out for delivery. And once it's out for delivery, we know that in no time, packages will then be delivered to the customers. Then you also have some packages that have been delayed. So you want to have packages that have been delayed so that you can give your customers, the best experience possible. So I'll just go back to the report and, okay. So we've done this now. Let's take a look at, first of all, you know, uh, let's take a look at let's have a time. Okay, let's take a look at the average delivery time. And I can see all your insights from Michael, Olukoya, Obama, Kechuku, Olaide, Oma, and every other person who also contributed. Fantastic one, right? So now, another thing we want to also see average delivery time. Okay, let's see if we can see the average delivery time and display it somewhere here. Okay, and then we go into the next bit that we so in order to see the average delivery time, we want to see it as a banner. Whenever you go to the stadium, right? For example, I don't know if any of you were at, were at the stadium for the FA, was it quarterfinals now? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. All right. If you're at the stadium and you're supporting a team, you would hold up a card and say, you write a supportive statement, and display it, correct? For those of us who have been to, you've been at the live football match, you'd hold up a card displaying, you know, for your team, right? So you see that card, okay? Creating something like that in Power BI. so that that can display the average, um, delivery time for us. Getting sense? Are we together? My voice is breaking. Khadija, can you hear me clearly? Please confirm you can hear me clearly so that we know
Yes, I can
what
hear you
the state.
clearly.
All right, so you may want to okay, thank you very much. Great. So you may want to check your connections, all right? So to ensure that um you can hear me clearly. To hold up a card that displays the average. How do we do that? Very simple. If you look at your visualizations pane, you would see a very small visual that is called, my mouse is currently on it. My mouse is dancing on it. It is called the card visual. And the card visual display information. It helps you display the information of interest. Okay, so I'll click on that. All right, and you can see it here. So I'll adjust it so that it's a bit smaller. Okay, I'll adjust it so that it doesn't cover up the first card, just to the left hand side of the initial visual that I created. So in this my card now, still clicking on this card, I'll open. So it means this box that says add data fields here, I'll drag delivery time. I'll drag delivery time and drop it in fields. I'll drag delivery time and drop it in fields. Now, guys, take note. Delivery time is in numbers, okay, in days. So by default, when you drag, a column, into the um, fields, right? You have sum of delivery time. So Power BI, but we do not want to add things up, right? What we want is we want the average. We want the average. And I can see somebody asking in pivot table. You can use pivot table. What we are using today is not Excel. This is Microsoft Power BI. Okay. So Microsoft Power BI, can build directly from your data sets without you having to build pivot tables. So now I was saying that Power BI automatically sums the numbers up, but we want the average sum. So what we'll do is I'll simply click on the drop down just beside this field here. I'll click on the drop down, okay, and I have options. By default, it sums it up. You can see average. It says average. It says average, right? Average, average. So all you need to do is to click on average, and you'd see your average time in days in there. Can we all see that? Can we all see? We have 2 days. Okay, that's about 2.5 days. About 2.5 days. So it means that on an average, it takes 2.5 days for products to be delivered. Okay, you can say 3 days. Okay, you can say 3 days if you want to be, if you want to, still approximate even further. Okay, so 2.5 days or say 3 days for the customers to get their products delivered to them. So many organizations, especially delivery firms, want to ensure that their delivery time, all right, that than what it currently is. So that's the goal. All right, that's the goal. But we'll do one thing now. Now let me take you back to the data. Okay, so let me go back to Power Query. To go back to Power Query Editor, okay, I would click on the okay. If I hover my mouse, you can see use the Power Query Editor to connect, prepare, and transform it. But just before I do that, let me show you something. On the left-hand side of Power BI, you have three views. Three views. We are currently in the first view, which is the report view. This is the report view where you get to build your report. The second view is your table view. This is where you see your in form of columns, rows, and columns. You see your table in form of rows and columns. You, your model view is built upon power pivots. If you've never had pivots, Power in Excel, right? It's also a component of Power BI. Okay, so Excel and Power BI are both developed by Microsoft. Power BI is a step up from Excel, specifically for business intelligence, which is what we are using it for now. All right. So now, great. So this is your model view. Let's go back to our reports, or let me go back to my table view. Now, if you look at the set here now, you notice that yes, we have the package ID, we have the origin, we have the destination, dispatch dates, estimated delivery date, status, the current location, as well as the delivery time. But we don't have, we want to also see a column that tells us the route package from Phoenix to Dallas, for example. Phoenix to Dallas. Then we want to see San Antonio to, right? We want to see them in that, we want to see it in that manner. Okay, we want to see our route in that manner. So we want to combine those columns together and call it route. We want to combine our origin and destination columns together, maybe separated by a dash, so that that would then be our routes. Okay, we can then have, are we together, guys? Are we together? Are we together? We'll have our routes. Then we can now see the most popular routes of our package delivery. What are the popular routes of our package delivery? And in creating that column alone, all right, you can you have opened doors to so many other questions. So as a data analyst, you don't want to confine yourself to what's available in the data. You want to be versatile and be able to create even more fields that can help even more insights from your data. There's so many other questions that you can answer with this, but I want us to do this together, before we go into the next bit that we have for. Let me just go to reports view. So we've been able to, see our average delivery time, level down of our packages to their delivery status. Fine. Now, let's go back to Power Query. And to do that, I'll click on this, the with a blue pen on it. Okay, I'll click on this icon. Once I click on that, that takes me back to Power Query Editor. And this is where I do my cooking. This is why I cook. Now, in order for me to cook, okay, in order for me to cook, all right, I want to create a column. Okay, I want to create a column that merges my origin and destination together and separate it using a dash. In order to do that, I click on add column, where you can see file, home, transform, add column, right on the top right Power Query editor, you'd see add column, where you can see my mouse currently. If you click on add column, right? If you click on add column, you'd see you'd see you'd see you'd see you have your origin, and then you have your origin, then you have destination, right? You have origin and then you have destination. So all I need to do now, you can see what I want to do is merge columns, right? What I want to do is merge columns. Okay, what I want to do is merge columns. But merge columns, all right? Merge columns is grayed out. Okay, is necessary columns that all right. Somebody is asking, can Power BI also do other statistical analysis like linear regression, correlation, art? So you have visuals that can help you do as well. All right. You can do a lot of statistics, scientific, scientific, analysis in there, and you can also leverage AI in Power BI space as well. So, but for today's, just focusing on what we are. Okay. So, and then, subsequent sessions we may cover that. Okay, but it's definitely what we cover, during what we have the program. All right. So you click on Origin. I want you to click on Origin, and then you hold your Control key on your keyboard. That allows you to select multiple columns. So after you click on Origin, you click on Destination as well. You click on Destination. So I've selected the two columns, and now you can see my merge column now. Merge column now. My merge columns is now clickable. Okay, it's activated. All I need to do is to click on merge columns. Click on merge columns. Now, once you click on merge columns, Power BI says, okay, hold up, right? I want you to choose. Okay, what do you want me to use to separate the columns? So I'll click on that, and I can select colon, line, semicolon, space, tab. Then there is custom. So I want to use a dash. None of the options here would give me a dash. So what I want to do is click on custom so that I can tell data I want to use to separate those values when I merge them. So I'll click on them. Inside here, I put a dash. That's your minus sign, right? I put a dash in there. And then it says new column now. So by default, it names it as merged. So I don't want it to name it as merged. I want it to name it as routes. Route. So I type in routes in there in place of merge. And all I need to do at this point is to click on OK. All I need to do at this point is to click on OK. Now, once I click on OK, all right, by default, all the new columns you create are usually at the right-hand side, the far most right. So I'll scroll all the way to the right. You can see, you now see, a new column that's routes, and you can see that it has separated the, my origin and destination. So then look for which of these routes are most popular. So if that's what you know that, okay, what route, because if you are able to prioritize, some routes over others, you might be able to uh, um, on a so that's the essence, insight. So can we all see these guys? Just type a yes in the chat if you can see this. Then we go back to our, continue. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for responses. Okay, so now you see that we made changes to the data set. Remember I said that this is the backstage. So the backstage to make some changes in Power Query. In order for me to be able to let okay, what I need to do is I click on home. I click on home. Remember, and that allowed me to click on merge column. So I go back to click on home, and again I want to click on close and apply. So I click just the way I did before. All right, click on the drop down and select close and apply. Okay, so that loads the data for the second time for me. But this time, in my data pane here, it now adds a new column for me that says routes. It adds a new column for me saying routes. And this means that we can now leverage my routes, which was not there before. It wasn't part of the data. It didn't come with the data, but I created that. And that can allow me to now uncover some hidden insights within the data. There's a popular saying, torture the data and it will tell you the truth. Right? You know how, a CIA, if you watch movies, you have call them for me. What's that their name again? I know CIA agent, but there's another name you call them. These people that invest, guys, help me out. Help me out, guys. I think it starts from. Okay. All right. So, okay, that's FBI, DSS. Fantastic. So, all I need to do now is this. I'm doing this so that I can torture the data, right? So, what I need to do is I'll create a new page by clicking on plus. And then this time, I want to select a bar chart, clustered bar chart for my visualizations, bar chart. And that produced this sheet as big as I want. Okay, make it as big as I want. I can now drag my routes. I'll drag my routes to my y-axis. I'll drag my routes to my y-axis, which was the routes I just created. And I can then drag package ID so that it can count how many package ID, how many packages, were ordered per route. So I'll then drag my package ID to the x-axis. Now, once I put my package ID to the x-axis, you notice that you now have, oh, you can see San Antonio to San Antonio has the highest, has the longest, meaning that most of my packages were actually ordered from within San Antonio. So San Antonio is a hot spot. Okay, so you have orders going on within that particular vicinity. Then your second hotspot from New York to San Jose, then Philadelphia to New York, Chicago to Phoenix, and the Laguna. All right, you can see the list go. Um, you'll be able to see that in a much larger fashion. Can we all see? Can we all see these guys? Can we from San Antonio to San Antonio, meaning within packages that are okay? That's a hotspot. So San Antonio is a hot spot. San um, Jose, all right, and so on and so forth. Can we all see that? So within that week, you can see how many, just about three orders from Dallas to Chicago. Okay. So this allows us to, be able to dive deeper into the data to extract insights. All right. You can see there are groups that share almost the same number of, the same number of orders, and you can see how that goes down right to the very bottom. So the data is a week's data. Okay, a week's data. So this allows you to analyze the data to extract insights. Okay, so we've been able to spot our hotspots, San Antonio, all right, amongst others. You can see some top end in there, New York to Los Angeles, Austin to Los Angeles. You can see San Diego to Chicago, Chicago to Phoenix also, Philadelphia to New York. So you can see areas that appear at the top parts frequently, are your spots. You can see New York, okay, New York, Philadelphia, I think Los Angeles as well, appearing twice, especially as all right, we can do more with it. Definitely do more, but we are very constrained with time. Okay. So what we'll do next is go into the next bit of things that we have for in the charts. We're able to learn one or two things from today's session, right? We're able to learn something from today's session. Just type yes in the chat if so. And then, like I said, we can definitely do more with this data set. Okay, but I wouldn't want to keep you on the call endlessly before you get to learn about, um, you know, how you can also become a data analyst yourself. All right, so I'll just go back to, okay. Okay, so I'll be bringing on board Chukwemeka now. So Chukwemeka would come on board to how you can become a data analyst, self like Chukwemeka, and our team members within the house. Okay, so I'll stop sharing to Shwemeka. We
Hi, Mohammed. Please confirm if you can hear me.
all right. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic session, fantastic project you've done there. Hi, everyone. Hope you are still following. So I'm going to share my screen so that I can immediately get on with this. But if you've been following us up till now, can you just drop a one in the chat box so that I'll be sure that you're still on the call with us. So if you've been following Mohammed up till now and you watched what he did and you are intrigued to know more, can you drop a one so that I'll be sure that we are all on the same page? All right, I can see a couple of one. Fantastic, fantastic. Fantastic. All right, so well, it's the only I can see just a little bit of ones. Does it mean that others were not flowing or that we dropped off at a point? Okay, I can see more ones coming in. Amazing, amazing. All right. So basically, Mohammed has already walked us through everything that we need to know concerning how using Power BI to track real-time deliveries of a third-party logistic business, right? But is this only the thing that we can do with Power BI? No, there's still a lot of other activities that we can do. And this is what basically data analytics is all about, right? We are trying to analyze the data and understand what happened and also why it happened. So clearly, from what Mohammed was showing us, we're able to see, okay, this is what is applicable to some of these delivery companies, right? And that is what happened. The deeper you now go is trying to understand why it happened. Now, just between you and I, can you just tell me why you chose a career in data analytics, right? Why do you want to be a data analytics? You don't have to answer. Just keep it in your head, right? I know a couple of us might have a lot of reasons why we want to pivot to data analytics, right? It can be because of the growing trend in that area. It can be because of the work-life balance. It can be because of the money. Yeah, me, I personally, I transitioned because of the money. Mohammed also transitioned because of the money. And the truth is, I studied civil engineering first degree, right? So it's not really a thing that you need to have a technical background for it to be able to transition, right? Mohammed studied mechanical engineering. I studied civil engineering. Adeza studied industrial chemistry. Efemena studied economics. So none of us actually has a core computer background, right? But we all were able to transition to the tech ecosystem, right? And number one reason why we all need to consider data analytics because of the demand in growth, right? The growth in data analytics is unprecedented. There's this report we call the World Economic Forum report that shows the future of jobs. Basically, what it does is that it tells you, okay, in the next couple of years, this is the jobs that are going to grow. And I'm telling you that of all the jobs that were listed, number 1 to 5 of those jobs is about analytics, right? It's either it is data analytics or it is financial analytics or it is HR analytics, but it is all about data analysis, right? And Mohammed has done an amazing job in showing us who a data analyst is. So basically, it's somebody that is responsible for analyzing and interpreting data so that they will be able to give you insights, right? So from what Mohammed has done, he's been able to read the CSV file that we had and has been able to transpose it, extract, and transpose it into a visual that you and I can easily understand, right? So these are things that a data analytics does so that they can provide insights that will support business decisions. So basically, a data analyst is somebody that is responsible for analyzing and interpreting data. Okay, I can see a couple of charts. So please, my colleagues will drop the attendance form so that you can fill it, and then we can easily share this slide and also the recording of the session with you immediately after the session. All right, so moving on, how do you then become a data analyst? Right, number one thing that you can do to become a data analyst is simple: register with analytics. Right, we've already explained everything that a data analyst is all about. So it's responsible for analyzing data, and the things that you get to look at, you're going to work with the technical and the non-technical aspect of the business. That means you are getting data, working with maybe the technical team, and then you're also presenting your report to the non-technical stakeholders, which are the COOs, the CEOs, all the seats that exist in companies, right? And basically, what you are trying to answer are two questions, which is descriptive analytics, which has to do with what happened, and then diagnostic analysis, which has to do why did it happen. For example, if someone decides to analyze the attendance form of everybody that filled right now, you get to say, okay, we had 90 people on the call, 60 are from Nigeria, 20 are from UK, the other 10 are from Canada. Whereas we spent much funds in advertising the program in Canada. So what a data analyst is going to see is that, okay, we have this data, but then it means that we're expensing more costs in advertising to Canada, but we're having little return. So what do we now do? So these are things that a data analyst do on a daily basis to make sure that he is able to provide insights to the stakeholders for business decisions, right? So averagely, a data analyst in UK earns close to £40,000, and in Canada owns close to $65,000 Canadian dollars, and in USA as high as $72,000, right? And there are key learning areas that when you join us, remember I said how you can transition into becoming a data analyst is simple, joint analytics. There is one of our tech series that someone was speaking, Abigail. What Abigail mentioned is that she didn't have any technical background, but she was able to transition, and analytics was the degree that she needed to transition with, right? And it's because we get to teach you with case studies, like on a daily basis, on the instance of you being in class, you're going to be working on projects, on case studies, starting with problem solving. You're going to look at, okay, how do I solve problems, right? You're now going to, from there, pivot to Excel. How do you analyze data using Excel? How do you build dashboards using Excel? And you're also going to move to Power BI, just like Mohammed just demonstrated, where you are going to visualize data using Power BI. And of course, have a little touch of Tableau and SQL, which is basically structured query language that you're going to use to query your database and be able to get data from a database and now analyze in your Power BI or Tableau. And you will also get to learn data storytelling, which is very, very important. You know, it's one thing for you to be able to bring out insights. It's another thing for you to be able to tell a story using data. It's not about just doing the visuals. Your visuals should be telling a story which starts from somewhere and means you are going somewhere. And these are things that you also get to learn in the classroom if you get to joint analytics. And we all know the advent of AI right now. So you're also going to learn ChatGPT for analytics. How do you optimize and make use of ChatGPT to help yourself? You know, people have been asking questions, AI there to take our job? Is it there to replace me? No. Mostly what AI is here to do for all of us is to help us and make our jobs easier. So we also need to learn how to leverage the use of all these AI that is currently involved. And you also learn Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. And the tools you're going to learn includes Excel, Tableau, Power BI, SQL, ChatGPT, and Microsoft Fabric. The learning timeline is within 4 months. So you're going to have a 3 months intensive classroom learning, where you're going to have facilitators like Mohammed and myself, where you are going to be, conversing with them on Saturdays, like having classes with them. And on Sundays, you have what we call Watch Me Do It videos, right? And after you are done with the class learning, you now move to complete your capstone project, which once you complete your capstone project, will push you to internship, where you also get to work with lots of data and also be able to create a portfolio that will house all those data, so that once you go for any interview, the most important thing that any recruiter is going to ask you is, where is your portfolio? So it's very important that as a data analyst, that you are able to have all these things handy so that you can be able to present to anyone that needs it at any point in time. Our classes are mostly on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and evenings, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Now, what we have morning and evening classes so that we can accommodate for people that are in places like Canada, places like North America, so that it will be a very conducive environment and timing for you to be in the class per se. And one thing that we always pride ourselves in is that our classes are always beginner friendly. So you don't have to worry whether you have knowledge already in data analytics or whether you do not have knowledge. We are going to help you from ground zero by helping you start with problem solving, which is what all data analysts want to achieve, right? So once you understand this, we'll gradually now transition you from ground zero to the expert level where you can easily tell a story using data. Now, there are a couple of varieties of jobs out there that exist that most times once we see things like marketing analysts, you might be wondering, okay, is this area that I can fit in? So when you hear a data analyst, this is someone that can work in all the companies that exist. So there is nothing like your job is going to go out of vogue. No, it's not possible. I can guarantee you that. As a data analyst, your job can never go out of vogue because you always be in demand. Or for example, take a marketing analyst. These are people that look at, okay, they come into a company, look at the marketing trends of that company. How we doing our out-of-home marketing? How we doing our online marketing? How we do our email marketing? And be able to analyze all these things and propose solutions and bring out insights from it. Now look at product analysts, right? Take, for example, in the banking sector, they have products like savings accounts, kiddies accounts, current accounts, and the likes of it. There are people that analyze the status and health of these products and be able to say, okay, we have this product giving us more income, which means we have to focus more on it. We have this product that is not giving us any income, but we spent a lot on it, which means you have to reduce it. So all these things are areas where a data analyst can comfortably play in. And of course, operations analysts exist, right? So in most companies, we have the operations department. So there needs to be someone that analyzes everything that happens in that operation aspect and be able to propose solutions and break out insights that is going to help the business, that's going to help management make proper data-driven business decisions, right? We also have the supply chain analyst, which is typically what Mohammed just explained to us this night. So this is someone that analyzes all the supply chain logistics and be able to bring out insights from them. BI analyst as well, yeah, a business intelligence analyst. You come into a business, you look at the business generally and look for areas where you can optimize what they are currently doing and areas where you can, remove blockages and make it a seamless process. The sales analyst is also existing, right? These are people that analyze what are salespeople doing on a daily basis. You are selling, maybe you're in FMCG, right? Fast moving goods. And you need to understand, you have a couple of sales agent A, sales agent B, sales agent C. You need to track what everybody is doing. You need to apply the product that each sales agent is selling. You need to also look at the distribution by those sales agents and be able to make a data-driven decisions, right? So these are a couple of roles that a data analyst can easily fit in. So what I'm trying to point out here is to tell you that as a data analyst, you can work in all the industry that exists. Is it the banking? Is it financials? Is it oil and gas? Is it education? Is it government? You can comfortably work in all these areas because there's always need for someone that is going to analyze all this data. So that's why I said this is something that we all need to take advantage of, right? Because data analysts can never go out of vogue. You don't need to worry whether your job is going to be taken by AI or someone is coming to replace your stuff like that generally. You will always be in demand. This is the roadmap for data analysts, which I have already explained. It's a 4 months intensive learning journey. That is 3 months intensive classroom learning, which you are going to have classes on Saturdays, morning by 11 a.m. to 2, and evenings by 6 p.m. to 9. And then on Sundays, you have what we call Watch Me Do It videos. These are short bite videos that we've created on different topics that you can watch at your own liberty so that it will guide you and refresh your mind coming into class the next weekend. So the amazing thing about our classroom is that once you are registered, you have lifetime access to this classroom. So even though it's a live class that you are going to learn directly from the facilitator, you also have access to the recordings, which means at any point in life that you have reason to revisit that recording or possibly on the job, you need to refresh your memory on some things, you can easily go back to your classroom and have access to these videos, watch them, and also come up to speed. Or maybe instances like you missed a class, you had work, and that means you had to miss class because you can't really leave your job, right? So even if this happens, you also have access to the videos to watch what happened in the class and get yourself prepared for the next class, right? So these things always seem impossible, and it always seems as if we are just salespeople trying to sell the program, but it is something that we've had success stories in the past. So these are a couple of success stories that I've had. I'm going to try, okay, let me just run through this. This is, so he landed a job in the NHS with full sponsorship just after 1 month of training with us, right? So we worked with Tony extensively and prepared her for her interviews. And these are things that you also get to hear as well, because we don't only provide you with the skills and the necessary competence with respect to data analytics, but also help you learn the in-demand soft skills that you need to know. Interview prep sessions, CV review sessions, Upwork sessions, LinkedIn optimization sessions, which are things that is going to help get you to the door first. And then when you now come for interviews, yourself will now bring you into the company. We have also people like Olubemi. Olubemi landed a full-time role as a business data analyst with Law Depot in Canada after training with us. So don't worry, you have access to this slide. So you can easily watch, click here and watch all the recordings of these people and hear what they had to say. We also have people that have different things that they touched on. I'm going to play one video before I move on. Someone like Joel. Joel said, I wish I had joined analytics earlier, right? And these are things that we always try to make people understand. One thing that we all need to know is that data is here to stay, right? And for the fact that data is here to stay, there will always be need for a data analyst. There will always be need for you and I to analyze this data and bring out insights. So after Joel finished during his program, what he had to say is that he wished he had joined analytics earlier, because there are some things that would have helped him fast track his career, and these are things that he got to learn later on. So don't be like Joel that will now say, I wish I had joined analytics earlier. So we have someone like Tinola also that said, analytics gave me something new and an edge over my contemporaries. I'll also use myself for an example, right? When I was in the bank, I was in risk and control, governance risk and control, right? But I learned data analytics. And the funny thing is that I actually did my own program with analytics. That should be way back in 2020, right? So, and these are things that helped propel my career forward from that, because once we come to meetings and people are presenting reports in Excel, once they see my report, it's always a different thing. And from there, before you know it, I moved to the tech in the bank, and from there, so that's how my life just blew up, right? So it is always something that will give you an edge over your contemporaries. So even if you do not want to transition into tech, data analytics is something that once you learn, you can always practice it in your own current role and be able to make yourself different from anyone, right? So Pamela had to say that it has been an amazing ride with analytics with the help of their smart and professional facilitators. Yeah, like Mohammed mentioned, we have amazing facilitators that come into the class to make sure that you understand what data analytics is all about. And these are not people that will come and tell you, okay, data analytics is the A, B, C, and D. No, these are people that will teach you with real life case studies the way Mohammed just did it, right? We also have Chukodi. So Chukodi is a banker that turned to business analyst, and he was impressed with how we infuse data analytics into business analytics. So we have a lot of testimonials here that you can always watch on your own time so that you can be able to understand and know that these things are not rocket science, right? Before we finish, I'm going to play one video of someone, Ikmat, so that we get to understand what Ikmat had to say about analytics. Now, why should you train with us? Why exactly do you need to train with us, right? So over a couple of years, we've had phenomenal achievements helping people get jobs, right? So we've helped over 2,000 people transition from the classroom into their first jobs across the globe. And we have track record of success over the last 4 years that we've been operating. And these are things that it is the most important thing that everybody wants. We all want to be able to finish our program and transition into getting a job. And these are places that we have track record in. And number two is that we also have industry standard facilitators and curriculum, right? So we've created our curriculum in such a way that you learn in the current reigning things that is in that exact ecosystem. Sorry about that. Things like Microsoft Fabrics that is just coming out a couple of months ago, you already get to learn it so that at any point that it becomes the next big thing, you will have it in yourself already. So our curriculum are structured in a way that it is up to date and the best trainers and best experiences from the Fortune 500 companies are the ones that come to train you on what you need to know. So number three reason why you should learn with us is blended training to accommodate every learning type, right? If you are the type that likes live interaction with people, we have it, right? Because our classes are live. You get to interact with your teacher. You get to ask questions at any point. You get to stop and say, okay, I'm not following. Please repeat what you just said. And the facilitator will repeat. And if you are the type that wants to just watch the videos, these videos are also recorded and kept in the classroom for you to watch. So you have the access to live classes and you also have access to the videos, right? So the blended training model is something that we've done to help accommodate everyone and make it possible for you and I to easily learn. And number four reason why you should train with us is because we have tailored session to position you to land your first job. There's something that we always, there's a training model that we have that after 1 month of training with us, we assure you of 1 month of getting one interview invite. And this is because we've tailored our sessions to accommodate all these things. All right. So this is not all that we offer. We have also what we call the three-layered approach, which we use to position you to land a job in the job market. And number one in this first layer is basically your CV review, right? So after giving you the necessary skills and competencies that you need to have, next thing that we also do is to have your CV reviewed. So we have CV review sessions where we teach you how you're going to prepare your CVs to be able to pass the ATS system, which is applicant tracking system, right? So we're going to teach you how to make use of these things. How do you tailor your CV to match the job? Because the one thing that we've noticed is the reason why people struggle to get jobs is number one, they've trivialized job application. The same CV that you use to apply for a logistic data analyst is the same CV you're using to apply for a marketing data analyst. That's the same CV you're using to apply for a HR data analyst, right? So these are all data analytics roles, right? But you have the need to match your CV so that it will fit that exact role that you're trying to apply in. And these are things that we will teach you so that your CV will get you in and then you can come in and defend yourself with the skills that you've acquired. One thing that I always tell people during CV review sessions is that your CV is just like a walking signboard of you. And these are things that will go first before you and speak of you before you can now come in and speak of yourself. So if your CV is not fully optimized, if it's not fully loaded to be able to get an invite, then that means you do not even get into the door to express yourself. We also have LinkedIn optimization sessions where we help you optimize your LinkedIn. A friend of mine that joined the BA class, after her LinkedIn optimization session, a recruiter reached out to her. She's currently still in the class, right? And she got the job. But what happened is that she couldn't take up the role because she's still a student in UK and she can't really do more than the hours that she's currently doing. So these are things that will help you to navigate and get jobs. We also have the Upwork optimization if you want to play in the freelance area where you get to consult for people and do work for people per hour. You get to use Upwork and freelance, get jobs in UK, Canada, in America, and be able to be paid as well. So we also have how to navigate the job market. So aside all this, we have mentorship sessions where we get to teach you how do you exactly navigate the job market? How do you apply for jobs, right? How do you track the jobs that you've applied? And we also have the job and interview prep where if you get a job interview, we prepare you for that interview. All you just have to do is just to fill the link that, okay, you need an interview prep session for a so role, and we're going to get you prepped up. And these are using the SIT approach of how do you even answer the question of tell me about yourself, right? So these are things that you get to learn in our classroom aside the normal skill and competency trainings that we are going to give you. And the last one in the level one is recommendation and reference letter. So this is something that we currently do almost on a daily basis because our past students are coming here. They need recommendation letter for this, they need reference letter for this. So we also prepare these things for you, right? Because by virtue of you doing our program and completing your capstone and also doing internship with us, you have lots of experiences, and we can always reference you for any thing that you want to go for. So the level two of these employability services that we provide is one, weekly mentorship sessions. So what we have is that on a daily basis, on Thursdays specifically, we bring in mentors, facilitators from across the globe, people that are already in the system, high known tech people to come and mentor you on how do you navigate this exact terrain. These are the problems I faced during my own time. So do this, do that, so that you're not going to face the same problem that I faced, right? So we have this weekly mentorship session every Thursday in the week, and of course on the job support. So if you get the job and you are still struggling because you don't really know everything that pertains to that role, we are also here to support you 1 month into that job and help you to have a stronger fit before you can now hit the ground running. And the last level in this employability session service we provide is our promise to you, right? And this is what has worked for us over the years, and that's why we can comfortably say this thing. We guarantee you a one job interview 1 month after completing your training with us. If you follow all these layered approaches that we've mentioned, it will not even get you still be in class, and all these things will be happening already for you. So some of the new initiatives that we brought in 2024 to make sure that you have maximum support for transitioning is number one, body mentorship programs. So body mentorship programs is all about where we bring in our past students, they come back into the classroom and tell you, okay, this is what happened during my own time. Maybe I was doing my thesis in UK university and I was struggling, but I did this, I did that, and I was able to come out of it. So you get to hear from people that have walked the exact path that you are currently in, so that you understand how they did it their own time. And we've also enhanced our internship experience to include massive projects that you are going to put in your portfolio, so that at any point that a recruiter asks to see, oh, Chukwemeka, let's see your portfolio as a data analyst, you can easily provide a portfolio that is filled with several projects from across the different sectors: finance, oil and gas, education, governance, and hospitality, as the case may be. So we have this internship experience to make sure that you mirror what you're going to have experience in the real life scenarios in the internship program. Okay, and number three initiative is basically our partnership with recruitment agencies across the globe. So we have people like Havinash, Michael Page, Manpower, Conferry, and Teleservices that is with us. And that is why we can comfortably say that 1 month after your training with us, you must get one job interview invite, because we have partnership with recruiters across the globe where they reach out to us and say, oh, Analytics will have need for a data analyst or so, can you recommend someone for us? So once this happens, we just push one of our students for the interview, depending on your completion rates to everything that has been tabled down. So believe me, once you've done all these things amicably from start to finish, get the skills, get the competencies that you need, learn the employability skills that you need to have, we guarantee you a job 1 month after your program. And of course, our next cohort is starting on 6th of April 2024. That should be in 2 weeks' time. And we have a fantastic offer for you. So by virtue of you still being on this call up to this moment, we'll have discounts for the first 300 women and 15 men that is going to join the data analytics program. And trust me, we've had a couple of sessions before now. And what happens most times is that possibly a week before the 6th April, all these slots are filled, right? Immediately after calls, we have instant people saying, okay, I want to take this up, I want to take up this role. And before you know it, the slots are filled. And because of this, we've done a discount for you. The normal cost, the normal payments for data analytics goes for $750, and that's £725. But we've cut it down by 50% for you, which means you just get to pay $375 or £312, 50 shillings, and then you will get access to all these four things that I've mentioned. So how do you get into this program? My colleagues are going to drop the payments link. So all you just have to do is to please, okay, I think I have a question from Shehu. Hi, Shehu, we'll still get a question and answer, but let me just quickly see what he said. Can you please tell us about your students who didn't transition successfully? The truth is, people get skills for various reasons, right? I'll use myself for an example. When I learned data analytics way back in 2020, I was still functioning as a control and governance guy in the bank, but then I was already applying things that I have learned. So people learn things differently. So it depends on the exact thing that you want to do. But our completion rate is normally 90%, which means once 100 people are coming into class, at least 90 are getting to the end of the program, which means this 90 can easily transition or they can easily upskill in the ladder of their current job, the current job that they are doing. Okay, so it depends on the angle that you want to play it from. But honestly, we have 90% people moving from end to end. So you can be amongst these people. So for you to make payments, you just have to click on the link that my colleague shared. That's this main stack link. It's just very simple and it's going to take you to this place. So quickly, let me share the other sheets that he brought out. So once you click on it, it's going to bring me to this or presentation. All right. Once you click on it, Shift Control. All right, guys, coming up. All right. It's going to take me to this exact field where I can comfortably see the Analytics Enrollment Center. Please confirm that you can still see my screen. Okay, yeah, it's up. All right. So once you get to this Analytics Enrollment Center, you are going to see this, the 50% International Women's Day 2024 discount, right? So you just have to scroll down. So these are the prices for data analytics. It's still the same thing that I mentioned, and it's still going for the same price. You just have to come to this place that you have data analytics, right? And click on it. So by the fact that I'm currently in Nigeria, you are going to get the currency of your location. So if you are in Canada, you're going to get it in Canadian dollars. If you're in UK, you're going to get it in pounds. If you're in US, you're going to get it in dollar. So once you come to this place, because I am in Nigeria, I'm seeing a Naira format here, and it goes for 450,000 for the Naira payment, right? 450,000 for the Naira payment. And you, if you're in UK, you're going to be seeing pounds, which means you have to make the pound equivalent of what we said. So all you have to do is just put the figure, click on reserve a seat, and it's going to take you to the checkout option where you just simply put in your mobile number. I'm in Nigeria, so I'll just select it, put my phone number, and then click on okay, my name, I am Chukwemeka Iba, my email address, Chukwemeka Iba, and then click on proceed. And once you've done all this, it's going to bring you to the checkout option, which is right here. So all I have to do is, if I want to make transfer, I can just make the transfer to this Paystack Titan. If I want to use my card, I can simply make the card payments from here. As simple as that. So once you've done this, the next thing that you have to do for us is also go back to that same link and click on the link so that you can submit your payment receipt, right? So that you can submit your payment receipt. So I'm going to click on it, go back to the link so that I can show us how to submit my payment receipt. So once I've done that, someone from our team will reach out to you with your welcome package and then all the necessary information that you need to have before the 6th of April, your class. So once I'm done with it, I'll just come here, click on upload your receipt here. So on that same link, once you come back to it, you're going to see this option, upload your receipt here, which is here. So I'm going to click on it and then fill my details accordingly. So I'm just going to put things that I need to do. Okay, my email next, how do you make payments and the likes of it. And then somebody from our team will reach out to you. As simple as that. So what are you still waiting for? What are you still waiting for? The truth is that most times after some of these sessions, most of these slots are taken. So I always advise people to take advantage of this and make advantage of this International Women's Day discount, because it's not something that you're going to get often. You know, one of the participants said that he regrets not joining earlier, because the truth is that pricing is something that is always dynamic, right? Tomorrow, it's definitely not going to have this discount again. And then they say, why didn't I do it before? So remember, this is only for the first 300 women and 50 men that is eligible for this discount. And trust me, almost 75% of this number is already taken. So I promised to play a testimonial video for us. So I'm going to play a video from Ikmat so that we get to understand Ikmat's own story. I want to play a video from Ikmat so that we understand Ikmat's story. All right.
Nailing your final thesis by supporting your writing journey from.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in 10analytics, and joining 10analytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Tenalytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Tenalytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, you have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it's the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely, you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Tenalytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
All right, amazing, amazing. We all heard what Ikmat had to say. She was still in the program when she got two job offers, right? But she was not able to take it because of some restrictions in her own region, right? But immediately after the program, she also got two other offers. And at that point, she now had to make selections of the one that she wants to take. So, like I always say, all these things always seem impossible until it is done, right? And what I always advise people to do is fill the attendance form. After the call, the slides are going to be shared with you. You have access to all the testimonials. You can watch as much as you want, or you can also go to YouTube analytics and you will see all these testimonials there so that you will always be able to make decisions for yourself. So for someone like Abigail that's currently on my screen, she was able to transition from a care worker in Canada to a business analyst, right? And what she had to say is that our mentorship session and project-based classes are the things that helped her to get a job. So if you listen to this closely, you understand that you are getting a full packaged deal, and not only the skill and competency aspect, but you also get to have the necessary employability skills that is going to help you out there to transition easily. Our students work in amazing places in Canada, in UK, in US, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, across the globe, right? And we also have alumni sessions where everyone comes together to also help upskill. So what are you really waiting for to register? All right. I don't know what you are currently thinking, but at this point, I just feel you have to just register to be able to transition easily. And if you heard what Ikmat also has to say, she said that, and they are the most affordable. Trust me, I doubt if there's anywhere you can get a data analytics training for 450,000 naira with all this full deal, capstone project, internship, CV review session, mentorship session, interview prep session, Upwork review sessions, LinkedIn optimization. I know how much Upwork sessions go for these days, right? So, but all these things have been factored as a full package, and we are giving it to you so that we can help the Black community to get into tech so that we can have as much people as possible in this exact terrain. So I think I'll pause here for a while and we'll take a couple of questions so that we'll get to clarify any questions that we have out there. So if you have any question, just use the raise hand icon and I'm going to call you up so that we can take your question. Or you can also drop it in the chat box and we'll pick it up from there. All right, so if you have any question, use the raise hand icon and I'm going to instantly call you up so that we hear from you. You guys have the floor now. All right. Hi, Abdul. Hi, Ajasa. Hi, Antonina. Hi, Christine. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi, Boma. So everyone, you have the floor right now. Hi, Eric. Hi, Ezekiel. Please use the raise hand icon and we are going to call you to ask your question or drop your question in the chat box and we will take it from here. Hi, Mohammed. Do you have anything to chip in from here before we have hands raised?
All right, thank you very much for that, I believe you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm just going to ride on what you've said. I mean, a lot of people come, right, the international method discount. And, you know, once the discount closed, slots were all taken. People still want their fees. Last year, it was just 300 women, right? But because of the volume of people who also asked that, oh, we wanted to benefit from this. After the discount, we were forced to ask 20 people. Now, but this year is just going to be 350 people, 300 women, and 50 men, and the your time is ticking. All right, so the slots are going day on day, week on week, and we're about closing. Is if you want to take advantage of that, do that now. There won't be any additional slots after this one is gone. So I think that's what I'll just be chipping in. Then we can take questions now.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mohammed. So I was just scrolling and I saw a question, someone asking when the next cohort is starting. So we always have cohort start every first Saturday of the month, right? So we have another one starting in April. But what I will not guarantee you is the International Women's Day discounts that we currently have, which means once the discount is over this month, we revert back to the pricing of back to the pricing of 900,000 naira. That is the exact cost. All right. So at that point, you may not be able to take the international days discount. So someone is saying, but 50% of 720 is not 40, but 360. Oh, amazing for pointing that out. So the exact pricing for the course is actually 900,000 naira, right? We did a couple of discounts initially for the first 20 people. That should be for last month. And that discount meant they paid 720. So, but the actual cost, the payment for the course is 900,000. So we discounted it by 50%, which is 450,000 naira. So thank you for that. Uboma, I'm sure you'd want to ask about the next cohort. So what I always advise people is to take advantage of the discounts once they come up, because there are not things that is always certain and they're not always going to be there for you. Please, can I pay three in installments? There are minimum amounts that I can actually pay, which is, let me clarify. There are minimum amounts that you can pay. So what I advise is, Shay, please, can you drop Elijah's email in the chat box, so that just write how you want your installments to be structured and send it to elijah@analytics.org, and he's going to revert back to you. But you have to complete the payment before the 31st of March. That's before the training begins in April, right? You can make the payments instrumentally, but it has to be completed before the beginning of the exact cohorts, right? So I don't know whether there are other questions. I'm in the mood to take questions, so shoot at us. If you have data-related question, shoot. If you have business-related question pertaining to the angle you want people to shoot, we are here for you. What platform do you use for your classes, Sonia? So we'll make use of the Google Classroom, right? So you have live classes where you get to interact with us. And after it, you also get to access, see our Google Classroom. So let me quickly try and bring up one of our classrooms so that we can understand clearly. Okay, so I'm bringing up my classroom so that you can see how these things go. All right, my screen is coming up. So once you come here, this should. All right, so once I click on this and I scroll down, I can have access to all the classrooms. So Google have classrooms where you can use to teach. So I'm just going to bring up one exact class. So because I am sort of an admin in almost all the groups, that's why I get to see all these classroom. But you are going to have something that relates to this, maybe data analytics, April cohorts, right? So this is for the March guys, people in EU. So let's have a look and see what they are currently doing in class, right? So this is how it's going to look. And once you get in, you're going to see classwork. Once you get to classwork, you're going to see everything from the beginning. This is what happens after the classroom. Links are dropped and trainings are done through Google Meet. And after it, the recordings are sent. The materials are uploaded here as well. So after they join the class, this is what they got. Now, how do you navigate the Google Classroom? This is the first thing that they did. Then, how was the analytics terms and condition? How do you install Microsoft Excel and the likes of it? How do you install Power BI? How do you download Power BI on MacBook? How do you install Postgre? And how to save a Watch Me Do video offline. And then you have your welcome kit that also shows the schedule of what they're going to do. Now, this is their onboarding session that they had, after which the recording was uploaded for them. The login details are also here. Now, this is their Excel Module 1 class, right? This is the video, and this is the slide that was used. This is how they to download their data sets, right? Problem solving that they had. This is the class material that was used to teach it. This is the class recording of it. So these are lifetime assets that you are going to have. So week on week, all these things are going to be added for you. So right now, you're going to see even the mentorship session they had, which is targeted strategies on how to get a job, right? It's also uploaded here for them to have access to it. So week on week, everything that you do is going to be here. This is a body mentorship class that they had, which is applying to a job as a data analyst. The session recording is here. And then this is their CV review session that they had just on Friday. It's already uploaded here. So everything that you do is going to be uploaded here. And of course, we have some important material, which is CV templates you're going to use, job sites and roles you can apply to, 90 days of consistency, which you always preach. That's basically you learning in the public, because when you learn in the public and post, people get to see that, oh, Chukwemeka is learning this and is transitioning to this. And that's the point that recruiter starts taking note of you. This is where you book an interview prep session, and this is the job application tracker where when you apply to jobs, you come here and click it. If after applying for like 10 jobs in a week, in 1 week or 2 times, you didn't book any interview prep session with us, we are going to have a personal look at your CV, which means something is definitely wrong. And that is why you're not getting invited for interviews, right? So this is what the classroom looks like. For you, you are most likely just going to see just one class here, which is just the data analytics class that you'll be joining. So that is what the class looks. So I don't know whether that answers your question, Sonia. I don't know, do you have another question so that I can take at this point? What if someone is slow in learning, Obama? Also, that at the point that you are slow, we assure you that you're going to have an amazing, how will I put it right now, feeling about it, because we started from ground zero and gradually walk you up the ladder to the highest level, which means even if I have knowledge of 2 and you have knowledge of 0, when the facilitator comes to class, he is going to start from 0 and make sure that everybody follows. And we have drop-in sessions every week as well. That's on Wednesdays. After classes was done on weekend, on Wednesday, we'll have like 30 minutes to an hour session where you get to ask questions on the problems that you're having. If there are things that are peculiar for you, the facilitator will now find out a way to tailor it down for you to be able to catch up easily, right? And also the videos are there for you to watch after the classes. You can easily watch, pause, so that you can understand everything clearly and be able to follow up with what you need to know. So I don't know whether that answers your question, Obama. How many days in a week do the classes hold? It holds only on Saturdays, right? Only on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sundays, you have your Watch Me Do It videos where you get to watch short bite videos on things that you need to get acquainted to. What are the days at the class holding in the week? The class holds only on Saturdays, I mean. So it's only on Saturdays. Then during the week, you have some activities that relate to the employability services that were mentioned, which is CV review, LinkedIn optimization. And these are things that last roughly 30 minutes to 1 hour within the week, or at most 1 hour to 1 hour, 30 minutes within the week, where you get to also have all those employability skills that we talked about. All right. Any other question? How much is the cost? So let me quickly go back to where the payments option is. So it goes for 450,000 naira, as the case may be, depending on where you are joining us from. Or it also goes for, let me get the dollar equivalent. It goes for $375 and also 312.50 shillings with respect to pounds, okay? So $375, 312.50 pounds, and 450,000 naira. So once you use the link, you are going to get the equivalent depending on the area that you are in. Hi, Sheil, your hand is raised. I've asked you to unmute. You have the floor, please.
All right. Okay. Hello. Hi. Thank you for giving me the chance. Yeah, my question is this. Okay, if you, I mean, I think each class is like 3 hours per week, right? And then how many hours of personal study do you have to put into this per week, for you to be, at the level, that a little bit of what you're doing, regarding the course. What would you suggest?
All right. Thank you for that question, Shehu. I think learning curves are different depending on individuals. There are people that right there in the class that are going to grab everything that we are teaching, and there are people that after the classes they might have need to revisit the recordings and be able to assimilate personally. So it all boils down to how my own learning curve is, how your own learning curve is. If you are someone that can easily follow in class, you are going to learn everything that you need to learn in class. But if you are someone that you have a little bit of not really fast, then you might have need to dedicate possibly that same hours that the class was used, that same hours you are going to use to rewatch the video and then be able to assimilate it personally. I don't know whether that makes sense for you, Sharon, or you've already unmuted. Sharon, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just that I'm aware that when people study, they tend not to actually remember most of the things that people have to go back and then review, but because when you are doing sometimes when you're doing courses like the university, like masters or something like that, right? You attend maybe 3 hours or something like that. So they normally advise that for every 3 hours you have to study something like maybe 5-6 hours or double the hours on your own personal study. That's their recommendation. All right, so that's
Okay.
why and then for someone that's like starting like at the beginner level, all right. So I think you have to do a little bit of grinding, So because I have children, so I just want to know how much time I have to set aside, uh, so that I'm able to tag along, and I'm kind of like at the beginning level as well,
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question. All right. Thanks.
Fantastic. I think my colleague Mohammed has something to say about that. Hi, Mohammed. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me now. I just wanted to add to what you said, Chukwemeka. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. So just like Chukwemeka said, right? So practically learning never stops. And one of the things I tell, especially people who are new and trying to get into the space, there's this phrase I usually tell people in class: repetition enhances retention. Repetition enhances retention. All right. It's just like learning how to drive. Okay. So you master driving, you drive, repeatedly. All right. So the first time you drive, the first ever time you drive, you are not you don't I don't expect you'd master it. But the more you drive and practice, then you're going to master it. Now, how much time do you need to dedicate? Now, aside the classes, all right. One of the times that I recommend that you regularly practice. You can set aside 30 minutes every day, to practice. It's you being consistent about your practice. So you have to be religious about the 30 minutes every single day. And let me give you 2 cents also. Even as a professional, up to this point, I'm still very religious with my own 30 minutes every day to read up something I have never read before. That is what I set aside to learn so that I get to learn new things as I go ahead. Right? There's no island of knowledge. Learning stops when life stops. So we all continue to learn all you need to do is to be religious about the time you set out. So after your classes, have a time, a solitude time where, you dedicate to you in class to have a clearer understanding, using some other data set that you have that you can lay your hands on. I just wanted to, buttress on what Chukwemeka mentioned. I hope that answers your question. I think that was Shion.
Yeah, that's Sharon. Thank you so much for that, Mohammed. All right. Do you have any other question from anyone? So that we don't take most of your day and your time today. So if you have any question, just use the raise hand icon and we are going to call you. Or you can just drop the comments in the chat box and we're going to pick it up from there. Any other question? You can please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you get the recording of this session and also the slides, so that you can always go through it and be able to assimilate and watch all the testimonials from our past students. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Hi, Joke. Joke, I'm going to, I don't know whether that's Joke. Yeah, Joke. All right, I've asked it to unmute. Have the floor, please.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Okay. Good evening, or wherever.
Good evening.
I'm in Nigeria. Anyway, that's why I'm saying good evening.
Yeah.
My question is, I saw this opportunity of discount, and I was able to grab it. I've paid 300 from the 450, remaining 150, which I hope to pay before the end, before 31st, as already said. So is it when I complete the payment that I get the package for the training? I registered for the 1 of April.
All right. Thanks for that, Jupe. So after making the payment, what I advise you to do is with that same link, have you uploaded your receipt?
Yes, I have.
All right. So someone from our team is going to reach out to you with the other details that is necessary. All right.
Okay.
So someone is going to reach out to you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that question, Jupe. You see, like I mentioned to everyone right here on the call, I can assure you that the slots that are remaining are already being taken. So what I always advise you to do is to do like JK. You can use the initial amount to lock down the discounts, and then before that 31st comes up, you complete the exact payments. So that's the smartest thing to actually do, because by virtue of doing it, you've already locked your own slot down with this exact discount that is currently ongoing. So it's something that is very, very smart, and everyone should try and key into it. Thank you for that, JK. Any other question from anybody? Clarification, comments? My colleague also have dropped. Okay. All right. Okay, that's the question has already been answered. Whether it's the same pricing. Okay. In the absence of any other question, in the absence of any other comments or clarification, my closing words definitely is going to be try and take advantage of this discount, right? Because these are not things that you get to see on a daily basis. I assure you by May, it's going to be an entirely different thing altogether. All right, guys, thank you so much for being with us for roughly 2 hours, 30 minutes, and do enjoy the rest of your night or your day or your afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Cheers, guys, and see you in the class. Bye for now.